A Raft developer sneakily showed this image in a discussion channel in the official Raft Discord, and barely anyone saw it, but I did, and I'll be covering it in today's video. But before that, let's start with a well-known feature. Number 1, the juicer. Surely one of the most infamous Chapter 3 features, because it's been known about for so long. I can't wait to see all the different things we can actually make in this thing, and how useful it will really be. There's obviously way more to the juicer, but I'm actually going to cover that later on in the video. Number 2 is the trading outpost, an addition that mustn't be forgotten. Essentially, here's how it works. You get scrap cubes by crushing your trash in a machine that we'll cover later on in the video. Then you travel to wherever this outpost may be located with your scrap cubes in hand, and you'll be able to buy whatever is on sale. There are tons of unanswered questions that I think we'll know more about sooner than later. Feature number 3 is the horizontal pillars. For me, a really exciting feature because it shows Red Bee aren't yet done with improving the building side of Raft. And since building is arguably one of the most important mechanics in Raft, that's great to see. Number 4 are the jellyfish. Yes, the renovation update did bring a pack of jellyfish which can often be seen under your raft in the ocean, but they're not at all interactable and they're only really there to provide some atmosphere. However, in Raft Chapter 3, that all changes. Varuna Point and possibly some other locations will feature actual jellyfish, in the same manner that we can often find pufferfish at the moment surrounding large islands and caravan town. But moving on to number 5 now, let's talk about those scrap cubes we mentioned earlier. These will be a brand new item providing some sort of currency inside of Raft. They're literally tiny little cubes that will become very valuable to you. We're still unaware of what we can actually buy with these things, but it's gotta be something pretty good, right? I'm hoping these outposts don't replicate the Wandering Trader in Minecraft because those things are really just useless. Number 6 in the list though is the infamous storyline changes coming in the next update. Yes, most of you probably know about this, but if you don't, Red Bee have said they're unhappy with how clear the structure of both Chapter 1 and 2 were, and have now decided that they're planning on rewriting all of it, with small changes here and there, removing text that doesn't add to the story and adding text which does. I think any improvement to realign the structure or just make it make more sense chronologically is a great move. I think one of the main reasons they're redoing it is because of number 7, new playable characters, mainly because of how we'll unlock them. Essentially, after meeting them inside of the storyline, we'll get some kind of blueprint and we'll be able to actually select them as a playable character, which is awesome. But I think a couple of them will be in Chapter 1 and 2. I mean, it only makes sense, right? Number 8, and it's time to talk about the upgraded metal anchor, something I was so excited for when it first got released because of the implications it may hold. Could this mean we finally get loads of different upgraded equipment, maybe some electricity or even metal walls, you know, to match the anchor and everything? Obviously, we have no idea, but it could definitely hold some weight. Number 9, the musical instruments. These were actually shown to us as recently as 2 weeks ago, on the 8th of April, and of course, they aren't just any regular musical instruments. For starters, the 3 instruments they've shown feature an air horn, which can clearly be used to annoy your friends, and I think that's great, but one of the developers, Andre, gave us a little clue that these instruments will be able to be activated using arrows, which is actually really good. No idea how that will actually tie into some use, but I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Number 10, we're getting into the storyline here with the brand new snowy island coming in Chapter 3. As we know, it's the second island in the storyline, and Red Bee have actually shown us loads of pictures that were all taken at this location, all of which being shown on screen right now, but one in particular, the one that looks up to 2 massive nuclear reactors of some kind, features the beautiful Aurora Borealis, which is super interesting as that'd indicate that this location is in the South Pole, but that's not where this theory ends. In Chapter 2, we were told that the rich people were apparently headed to the South Pole after Tangaroa had evidently failed, and this might be that place. So will we get our hands on some super advanced stuff, maybe some automation? Most definitely possible, and I hope so. Number 11 is the thumbnail, the reason you clicked this video. One of the developers of Raft, Bosson, was in discussion with the community as ever, and after a couple of requests, he dropped an actual teaser, and it was this image of some kind of collection net. It appears to be retextured to fit in more with the new modern texture of wood added in the renovation update. But what if it has some extra usability features as well? That would make the new wood more viable and worth it to upgrade to, whether you like it or not. But with or without that, now you guys know about this confirmed new feature coming in Chapter 3 that surprisingly not many people know about. Moving on to number 12 with the new standard islands coming in Chapter 3. This was actually confirmed back in a 2020 2020 devlog, which feels like forever ago now. And with the addition of the snowy biome and perhaps even a second biome with the third storyline island, we may get our hands on some awesome looking new islands, perhaps with some new animals as well. Number 13, let's talk about smoothies. Coming along with the juicer will provide a whole new aspect to both hydration and maybe even hunger. Some of the finished smoothies Redbeat have shown us look amazing, but they also feature some interesting ingredients, which leads nicely into number 14. The chilies shown in the smoothie teaser, possibly a brand new crop confirmed for chapter 3, which is awesome. More crops for us to grow and care for, but where could we actually find this item? Possibly in a desert or hot area? Maybe the third chapter 3 location where these tribal huts might be? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Number 15. Now, earlier today we mentioned the scrap cubes, but now let's talk about how we actually get them. With the scrap cube crusher, of course. It's actually a really cool looking item, and I think it will be able to be placed on your raft. And you can just put any spare plastic, leaves, wood, whatever you don't need basically into this thing, and it will give you some scrap cubes. A pretty cool trade, but I sure hope they make it worth it. Number 16, along with the new characters we'll be able to play as, we'll also be able to completely change our clothing, which is one of the most exciting features in my opinion. At first, people were annoyed thinking the developers put more focus into new clothes than the new storyline, but I think we all know this isn't true. And even if it was, you know, it's their game. They'll literally do whatever they want. But yeah, these clothes will most likely be collected similarly to the furniture just by finding it in the ocean. Number 17, the upgraded battery. My favorite feature. Finally, I'll be able to take care of my animals without ripping my hairs out. Honestly, that's great, and I can't wait to see how much better it really is. But my hope is that it's at least 3 or 4 times better to make it properly worth it, because I'm sure these things won't be cheap. Number 18, a telephone? Well, not exactly. Essentially, this teaser was taken on the snowy island, and it shows some kind of bunker with loads of things scattered around, but most importantly, that telephone in the middle. It looks to have an outline on it similar to the duct tape on Tangaroa, for example. So yeah, I think this is one of those storyline items, and I just had to include it. I have no idea what it will be used for. Maybe it might even give us a telephone blueprint so that we can call different locations. Either way, I definitely do think it's an item of use to us, and I'll be interested to see how it works properly. Number 19, new music. While this isn't 100% confirmed, I think it goes without saying that chapter 3 will introduce new music and also new cassette players. In a 2020 devlog, one of the developers, Gabrielle, said that, quote, "Our music producer Yannick is working on new music for each patch of the game," unquote. So that's all the proof I need. And can we just talk about how good and iconic Raft music is? It's so perfect and so fitting for the environment that you're placed in. Number 20, of course, the scuttler. I couldn't miss this little, big creature out, mainly because of how cute it looks, but I'm sure it won't act that way in game. I think this guy will probably feature on the second island depending on whether that place is run down enough, but either way, it appears that this thing will just be some sort of nuisance, much like the rats on Tangaroa. Number 21, the third chapter 3 island. A lot about this place is unknown, but what we do know is that these tribal huts belong there, meaning it could possibly be a warm place, perhaps a jungle or even savanna biome. I prefer the idea of a jungle mainly because of all the different animals and plants that would be available to us there. It's just so diverse, but why would a jungle not be flooded? Honestly, I'm not sure, but I guess it won't be too long till we find out. So there you go, 21 awesome features that we'll be seeing in the chapter 3 update. I can't wait to see what else is hiding behind the curtains of what will surely be an amazing update. But leave this video a like if you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.